Manchester United fans could be forgiven for having a feeling of deja vu early into the season, and no, it's not because Erik Ten Hag's side lost to Brighton again. It's because the freak injury situation they thought they were leaving behind to the nightmare last season seems to have followed Manchester United now as well. After losing multiple players in the pre-season itself, like Rasmus Hojlund, Leny Yoro and Victor Lindelof, their competitive action didn't start much better. Harry Maguire soldiered on versus Brighton, but he was taken off in the first game versus Fulham as a precaution, and Mason Mount's injury update has now made things bleaker. Rasmus Hojlund, however, is pushing to return to action for United and come back stronger than ever. It can't be a coincidence. Within hours of Mason Mount's latest injury blow being revealed, to the frustration of fans, Manchester United have attempted to switch up the narrative. New images and video have been released of striker Rasmus Hojlund as he pushes to return from an injury sustained during pre-season. Rasmus Hojlund is training on an individual basis rather than with the group, and will not be under consideration for a return against Liverpool this weekend. The time frame placed on Hojlund's injury originally was to return after the international break. This is still what he is aiming for. Yes, it's great to see Hojlund working hard to recover, but let's be real. The fact that he's training alone and not with the team shows he's still not ready. He won't even be considered for the upcoming match against Liverpool. His expected return is still after the international break, which isn't exactly soon. When Hojlund does return, he is determined to be stronger than ever. He wrote on Instagram, little by little getting ready to be supersonic again. Hojlund scored after just 12 minutes of his only pre-season appearance. He then tweaked his hamstring 3 minutes later. Teammate Alejandro Garnacho has not played alongside Hojlund since last season, and he is keen to get the Danish striker back. Garnacho wrote a response to Hojlund, which read, "Waiting for my man." There is a little good news for Manchester United fans to feel reassured about. Rasmus Hojlund was not named in the recently announced Denmark international squad. While Hojlund was not due back until after the break, there was always a chance Denmark would take their chances and bring him in, to either assess for themselves or just gamble that he could make a swift return. Instead, they are leaving Hojlund to continue his recovery at Carrington, reducing the chances of an unwelcome setback. Good news. Meanwhile, Manchester United's worst fears were realised when the Mason Mount injury update dropped, and it emerged that he had picked up an injury to his hamstring again. It is the same injury he suffered in, ironically, the second game of last season, then against Tottenham, and it never allowed his United career to take off. The same injury in the second game of this season has now put the brakes on a career resuscitation, and Mount has already sent a message to United fans on how frustrated he is at this development. Arriving from Chelsea for an initial £55 million, he was a questionable signing even at the time, as he was already into the last year of his contract. Moreover, he didn't have a clear role in the team, as Bruno Fernandes has had a stranglehold at the number 10 position ever since he arrived at Old Trafford. This season, he found a suitable role for him where he started alongside Fernandes and became almost a one-man press up front, but that could all change with his latest injury. There's an argument to be made that Mount should have made way in United's strongest 11 for a natural striker going forward anyway. Moreover, with Manuel Ugarte's arrival, the midfield area gets further clogged up, and the Uruguayan's propensity to go searching for the ball and regaining it is close to what Mount does, just further forward. Therefore, this latest injury could be the straw that breaks the camel's back as far as Mount's career at United is concerned. Ineos have shown a refreshing level of ruthlessness this summer when it comes to selling players on the fringes of the first team. Up till now, Mount figured to be a crucial part of the squad, and Ten Hag clearly values his skill set, but that will all be for naught if he's available for less than 50% of games every year. To make matters even tougher for him, he doesn't even play in a position where he's indispensable when fit, like say someone like Luke Shaw, the left back. Mount's skill set is easily replicable, and his absence can be covered up by a simple tactical change or two. This injury has probably tipped Mount's career at United from questionable, but let's wait and see, to expendable. If this theme continues throughout this season, then Ineos could be forced into a decision next summer. They've already shown they're not afraid of taking those calls. In other developments, Manchester United will officially confirm the departure of midfielder Scott McTominay to Napoli. Scott McTominay was given a hero's welcome as he arrived in Napoli to put the finishing touches on his £25 million move to the club. At Manchester United, Mctominay had become a familiar face, a dependable squad player who first broke into the team under Jose Mourinho 7 years ago. He's had some big moments for the club, and while it's sad to see him go, the decision to sell him is a practical one. Opinions are divided on what his departure means for Manchester United. Some think he will be missed, especially as a valuable squad player. Former United defender Rio Ferdinand even went on record to say that selling McTominay is a mistake, calling him huge for the team. Over in Napoli, the excitement displayed by fans greeting to welcome his arrival is spelled out by the editor of local outlet Il Napolista. Massimiliano Gallo believes the move for Scott McTominay is the best deal concluded by any Serie A club this summer and overshadows the arrival of his teammate Romelu Lukaku. Gallo said, "Without Conte, these players would not have come. McTominay's inclusion. English football is different from Italian football. There could be some problems, but this is a very strong player, a flag bearer for Manchester United, and there was great controversy when he was sold. For me, he is the cover purchase of this campaign, the best purchase in Serie A." Gallo believes the only comparable Serie A signing is Juventus' move for Douglas Luiz. He is confident McTominay will have a starting role for Napoli, confident the Scotland international will be a key part of Antonio Conte's plans. In terms of characteristics, he is close to Anguissa, but he is more dangerous in the penalty area. He certainly doesn't come to Naples from Manchester United to sit on the bench, Gallo added. Another Manchester United youth graduate recently featured for Napoli, McTominay's former teammate Axel Tuanzebe. Tuanzebe signed on loan for Napoli in early 2022, but faced tough competition for places and struggled even more so with injuries. McTominay should face no such issues. He was one of United's most reliable players in terms of fitness, and there will be a spot for him in Antonio Conte's system. While there are some players who have left the club this summer who may elicit only a shrug of the shoulders from supporters, McTominay's exit is really intriguing, and fans will be following his exploits with some interest. The club is in the midst of significant changes, from bold moves in the transfer market to the challenges of an early season injury crisis. What do you think about the latest developments? Is letting go of Scott McTominay a mistake, or is this a necessary step for growth? How will the arrival of Manuel Ugarte shake up the midfield? And with mounting injuries, what's next for stars like Mason Mount and Rasmus Hojlund? Share your thoughts and join the conversation below. Let's discuss the future of Manchester United together.